Reno's population of 225,221 individuals confirms its title as the biggest little city in the world. Like other highly condensed and populated municipalities, Reno is subject to an element of big crime. With its fair share of notorious and well-known events and trials, this city of transients carries unique elements in its criminal history. Multiple famous and nationally recognized crimes have taken place in the city of Reno. This section of the presentation follows the stories of three criminals that scarred Reno's past: Ricky Seacrest, Darren Mack, and David Middleton. Doris Schindler hired her neighbor Zella Weaver to babysit her daughter Maggie in April of 1983. On May 14, 1983, Weaver's grandson, Ricky Seacrest, tricked Maggie and her friend Carly Villa into his car and drove them to Lago Marcino Canyon. While rock hunting, Carly fell over backward and hit her head. Maggie ran, which prompted Seacrest to chase her and hit her over the back of the head with a rock, killing her. Seacrest proceeded to kill Carly, who he thought was still alive, with a shovel. Following was an act of masturbation on Maggie's dead body and the burying of the girls in shallow graves. Ricky Seacrest was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of first-degree kidnapping. During the voir dire process and closing arguments, however, District Attorney Mills Lane made false statements to the jury about current Nevada laws concerning sentencing and the Board of Pardons. Seacrest was taken off of death row and thrown into Ely State Prison. Family Court Judge Chuck Weller presided over the divorce of Darren and Charla Mack in 2005. Harsh on husbands, Judge Weller ruled that Darren was required to pay $849 in child support per month, pay $10,000 per month in interim spousal support, and cover the bills of the marital home that Charla won possession of. In June 2006, Charla arrived at Darren's home to drop off their daughter Erica, but did not leave alive. After grabbing coffee with a friend, Darren headed to a parking garage that oversaw the courthouse and fired a high-powered rifle into Judge Weller's chambers. Neither the judge nor his assistant were killed. Darren fled to Mexico, but surrendered to authorities 11 days later. Darren's first set of lawyers attacked the split personality of Darren's ex-wife and their client's psyche. They claimed Charla attacked Darren, triggering a long-simmering delusional state in Darren that convinced him he was acting in self-defense when he killed Charla and shot at Judge Weller. Later, Darren agreed to a plea deal of parole after 20 years. Darren's new lawyer stated that his previous lawyer's assault on the man's sanity completely contradicted their claims concerning self-defense. Darren also asserted that his past lawyers forged his signature on the plea deal paperwork and tricked him into thinking that he would be able to tell his whole story to the world. It was for these reasons Darren sought justice and a new trial. After Darren's old lawyers testified that their client had willingly signed the plea bargain, Judge Douglas Herndon ruled that the plea deal was legitimate and that Darren's statements would not be withdrawn. Darren was sentenced to life in prison, remaining emotionless about his actions and the murder of his ex-wife. On February 11, 1995, the corpse of Catherine Powell was found in a dumpster located at the Southwest Village Apartments. She had been missing for 8 days. Powell's credit card had been used, however, to purchase an item over the phone from Good Guy's electronics store on February 5th. The item was picked up by a 1972 International Harvester. The truck belonged to TCI Cable Company repairman David Middleton and his wife Yvonne Haley. While working as a cop in Florida, Middleton was charged and convicted of false imprisonment and sexual battery, but released 3 years later. He and his family fled to Montrose, Colorado, where their appearance coincided with the disappearance of 3 females. Reno PD arrested Middleton for being an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. The finding of Middleton's sex and torture chamber in his storage unit soon followed. The serial rapist collected women's undergarments and hair. In April and May of 1995, the remains of Thelma Davila from Reno and Buffy Rice Donahue from Montrose were found bound just like Powell. Middleton was finally placed under arrest for 2 counts of murder in the first degree, 2 counts of kidnap, and charges of credit card fraud. Yvonne Haley was also arrested and charged with 1 count each of burglary, fraudulent use of a credit card, and possession of stolen property. She was convicted in May 1996. Middleton's trial did not begin until August of 1997 due to his lawyer's attempts to build his case. By the end of the month, the jury had their verdict, guilty of all charges. Still awaiting execution on death row, David Middleton is the only cop that ever became a serial killer in history. Tourists and transients are drawn to the city of Reno for its casinos and chances to get rich quick, but end up losing more than they can afford. These devastated hopefuls join others trying to make the best of poverty, which usually results in committing crimes, such as stealing property and mugging tourists that carry large amounts of money. Casinos are thought to create crime hotspots. When casinos are located in tourist venues, the patrons are often relaxed and let down their guard in the laid-back vacation atmosphere. Alcohol offered by casinos hinders one's ability to fight back in any kind of robbery or mugging. Gamblers who have sustained big losses become desperate and take part in opportunities such as criminal activity. When traveling through or living in Reno, one should have a reasonable level of caution. Serial rapists and murderers appear across the globe in random locations, so the only way to avoid becoming a victim of their acts of violence is to be aware of one's surroundings. The same advice applies for evading property crime and theft, but this feat is obtained more easily. Stay in well-lit areas when outside, walk with one or more companion, carry items helpful against a perpetrator, and do not carry items on a thief's wish list. The city is not the crime capital of the world, but answer this question: what crimes are you willing to have committed against you?